before I get started this morning with my presentation, I want us to stop and think about and celebrate our history. We need to celebrate where we are today, but think about where you were along that journey. And then let's stop and dream a little bit about where we could be. Some of the things that we've talked about this morning, and some things that we'll be talked about a little bit later. Then think about where you will be during that journey. Now, what we've seen and heard this morning are examples of where we've been and where we are now. They're examples of how God has worked through this congregation over the last 100+ years. Now, most of us in this room weren't a part of the beginning, or even most of the last 10 or 15 years. But we're all part of the present, and we all can play a crucial role in its future. Now, like Jim Thompson talked about, some of the decisions that were made, like the decision the church made to step up and offer our pastor a compensation that was worthy. That decision probably didn't look so good on paper or with the budget that they had at that time. But it was a decision that helped pave the way to where we are today, to the things that we enjoy today, and sometimes take for granted. Now, believe it or not, like Jim said, this church and its sanctuary hasn't always had 2 services on Sunday. There hadn't always been a need to take the kiddos back for children's church. There hadn't always been a nursery, let alone one full of babies that now needs 2 staff. And better yet, an opportunity to have an entire service provided to us by our youth. Now, I remember, for those of you that were here on Ash Wednesday, you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, and don't get me started on what this place turns into every Wednesday evening. That just proves these guys have been here on Wednesday. They know what I'm talking about. You've got to be up here to see that and believe it for yourself. We've got folks up here from 89 to age 2 enjoying one of 3 disciple Bible study classes, Compass Kids, Kids Choir, and the youth is doing their thing. These things don't just happen. They happen for a reason. They happen because people step up. They happen because there's a need. Now, our church leaders, like Jim talked about, knew we needed to pay our pastor a livable wage. They knew we needed to hire an office manager and a director of student ministries. They knew we needed 2 services on Sunday, and they knew we needed a consistent face in our nursery every Sunday morning. Now, right now, our church is at another crossroads. We need to make a decision. We need to decide, do we want to settle for where we are right now? Or do we want to step up and help pave the way to our future? Now, as time I've spent on our finance committee and now as chair of the administrative council, we can't afford to do either one. We can't afford to do either one unless we step up as a congregation and give more to this church and its mission every week. Now, I may be putting an emphasis on monetary contributions, but I'm also talking about your time and your energy spent towards volunteering to be on a committee, to even staying after church on Sunday to count offerings. Or, better yet, getting involved with our increasing ministry to our community, through our UMW, through our missions team, or whatever else that's going on, or whatever else you can think of that needs to go on. Now, from a personal standpoint, I thought I'd take some time to tell you that this has been a learning experience for Mandy and me. It's been an opportunity. It's been uplifting, and we've been proud to be a part of it. We'd like to personally thank Jim and Pam Thompson for introducing us to this church some 8 or 9 years ago and being so kind to us at the time, and to Pastor Allen for continuing to challenge us to do more and be more every day. Now, I'm not going to stand up here and challenge any of you to give a certain amount or commit to anything, because I have no idea what your personal financial situation looks like. And only you know what more means to you and your family. I will challenge you, however, that while we sit down and think about our history and celebrate that, celebrate where we are, think about what role you can play to help us realize our future. Now, in closing my part, I'd like to sum things up, make them a little bit easier for you. Those who are out there just like me. This church has come a long way in the last 100 years. Like it was mentioned, we've come light years in the last 3 or 4. Let's not be the ones that didn't step up. This is our church. We need to help keep moving forward. Thank you.